Now I'm sure you've heard of Greek myth, with its tales of Zeus and the Olympian gods, or Norse legend, with its skaldic sagas about Thor, Loki and the frost giants. But what about Baltic Paganism, an obscure mythology from the frozen forests of northern Europe, featuring the storm god Perkunas, who hunts the forest of Latvia in search of his one-eyed rival Velinas? Or how about the supreme deity Dievas, and how he accidentally formed humanity out of his saliva? Long story. Enter your log cabin, grab your pint of kvass and a healthy amount of potato dumplings. It's time to introduce you to the mythology of the Baltics, Europe's last pagan religion. The Baltic region is in northern Europe, situated below Scandinavia and Finland, straddling the aptly named Baltic Sea. Here lie the small countries of Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia. About half of the region is blanketed in pine forest. The trees seem to continue endlessly, and you can go days without seeing any sign of human life. The land here is also very flat, causing murky bogs and swamps to develop. Winters are known to be harsh. From December to March, temperatures can dip well below freezing. These nations are some of the wildest regions in Europe, as well as the least populated. People have lived in the Baltics for millennia, mostly in networks of loosely connected tribes. Until the Middle Ages, they had little contact with the outside world. As a result, Christianity was the last to reach them. Starting in the 12th century, the Church launched a great northern crusade and brought Christianity into the region through violence and warfare. After the brutal conflict and the shedding of much innocent blood, many natives renounced their religion in favour of Christianity. Others, however, held on to their ancestral beliefs and continued to worship the old gods in secret. It's time we outline the mythology and beliefs of Baltic paganism. The thing is, however, there's no strict list of deities or centralised pantheon. Much of what we know about Baltic religion is from outside sources, particularly crusaders. We therefore only have a rough idea about the beliefs and religion of this ancient people, but an idea nonetheless. Prepare for my bad pronunciation of Baltic gods? Here goes. Let's start at the beginning of the universe, with Dievas, the primordial creator. Dievas existed before anything else existed. There's no account of how he came to be. Simply put, he was always there. Sometimes Dievas is depicted without a body, just an intangible universal concept. Other accounts give him the form of an old travelling beggar who roams the forests alone, exploring his creation in silence and solitude. Dievas is the Lithuanian word for God. A bit like how in English, God can either mean the God of the Bible or simply any deity. A really interesting tidbit, however, is that the Lithuanian word Dievas is related to a bunch of other languages and their word for God. The Latin word for God is Deus. The Greek word for God is Theos. Even as far away as ancient India, the Sanskrit word for God is Deva. All of these sound very similar to our Baltic god, Dievas. This ancient linguistic connection may show just how old Baltic paganism may really be. Dievas is not the only god about. After he created the universe, he brought forth a pantheon of other gods. First up is Mara, the earth goddess, also known as Mother Earth. She's the patron goddess of motherhood and breastfeeding, as well as the protector of the environment. When people die, it is said, Mara takes their bodies back into the soil, while Dievas takes their souls up into the sky. When Christianity arrived in the Baltics, Mara was confused with the Virgin Mary, perhaps due to a similarity in name. In fact, across the Baltics today, there's an uncomfortable fusion between Christianity and old paganism. In northern Lithuania, there's a site known as the Hill of Crosses. On a single hill, there are 100,000 statues and effigies dedicated to the Virgin Mary. Now, although it's a Christian monument, it certainly has a pre-Christian feel to it. It bears a resemblance to the many carved wooden idols across the region that were once dedicated to the goddess Mara. I'll let you decide on this one. After creating Mara, Dievas then created Teliavelis, the smith god. He's responsible for technology and innovation and helped Dievas craft the universe. One of his first jobs was to forge the sun. Once Teliavelis finished crafting it, he threw it up into the night sky and it illuminated the earth. The sun was then personified into Saule, the sun goddess. Not long after creating Saule, Teliavelis made Menuo, the moon god. The two fell in love and got married, ruling the night and day as a couple. Between them, they had thousands of children, the stars. Now, Menuo was not a faithful husband to Saule. Not long into the marriage, he had an affair with Aushrané, the morning star. Saule found out about this and was horrified, especially since Alshrune may or may not have been their daughter. As a punishment, every month Menuo is cut up into pieces and stuck back together later on, resembling the various stages of the lunar cycle. Let's leave this marital crisis for now and explore how the first humans came to be. According to myth, humanity came about from a drop of Dievas' spit. Having wiped it from his mouth, the spit droplets splashed down onto Earth, and from them the first humans sprang forth. In this story, humans were a complete accident, and Dievas doesn't really seem to care about them. Unlike the Bible, humans are not the privileged custodians of the earth, we're just, well, saliva. Up next is the strongest of all the gods, and their de facto leader. His name is Perkunas, the god of thunder. He is depicted as a giant bearded man, wielding an axe and riding astride a chariot wheeled by two goats. As he roams across the sky, thunder and lightning flash in his wake. Now, this god might sound familiar, either through Thor from Norse myth or Zeus from Greek myth. This does not seem to be a coincidence. Across a bunch of ancient European religions, there's an archetypal figure who rules in the heavens and creates lightning. Some scholars have called this person the Sky Father. Perkunas is the Baltic interpretation of this Sky Father archetype and is distantly related to Thor and Zeus. Perkunas is constantly on the hunt. He's searching for Velinas, the evil god of the underworld. Some myths depict Velinas as a one-eyed prophetic trickster, responsible for all the world's woes, a bit like the Norse figure Loki in that regard. Velinas resides in lowland places like bogs and swamps, so he's very much at home in the Baltic region. In order to hide from Perkunas, Velinas will transform into rocks, trees, and even sometimes as other people. As seen already with Mara and Velinas, a number of the Baltic gods are closely associated with mortality, but none as much as Giltine, the goddess of death itself. She is depicted as a thin, pale woman, robed in white, and she can be found roaming graveyards, licking corpses with her long tongue. If you don't like the sound of Giltine, and who would, you may prefer her sister, Laima, the goddess of fate, luck, and pregnant women. When a baby is born, she is the one who will decide their destiny, what they will do, whom they will love, and most importantly, how they will die. Like it or not, in Baltic mythology, everything that happens in your life has already been determined by Laima. In ancient days, those wanting protection and safety will pray to Laima with the hope that she will grant them with good luck. Nowadays, however, protection is something you don't want to leave to chance, especially when it comes to the internet. That's why this video is sponsored by NordVPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It's a useful tool that encrypts your internet traffic and hides your IP address and virtual location. It's basically an internet cloaking device, meaning that third parties like cybercriminals can't spy on you whilst you're online. With NordVPN, you can log into your accounts, make bank transfers, and shop online without needing to worry about anyone stealing your data. There are plenty of other benefits of getting a VPN, aside from internet safety. One I particularly like is the ability to stream shows that aren't even in your own country. NordVPN allows you to change your virtual location, with over 60 countries to choose from. So, if you want to take your internet security back into your own hands and access all the other great perks on offer, go to nordvpn.com/Hochelaga, or use code Hochelaga to get 73% off the first 2 years, plus 4 additional months for free. As well as all the interesting gods and goddesses, Baltic paganism is full of monsters and spirits. Here are a few of the most famous. The most common supernatural beings are the Aitvaras, nature spirits. They have the ability to shapeshift and transform into a variety of different things. Most commonly, it's snakes, roosters, and even fire. Many, however, can be found as trees or rocks. Within each one is supposed to be an Aitvara who will grant you protection, provided you offer a small sacrifice, of course. And that's why there are so many sacred groves across the Baltics. There are plenty of shrines dedicated to the largest of trees or the heaviest of boulders. On the other end, however, there are the Balbai. They are small impish creatures who work on behalf of Velinas. Their job is to haunt children, particularly the ones who have been badly behaved. Deep in the forest, you'll also find Raganos, the Baltic witch. Once a beautiful human woman, she's now become wretched and hag-like. Raganos is known to curse unwary townsfolk by turning them into frogs, pigs, and tree stumps. On the darkest day of the year, the winter solstice, Raganos is most active, so many are advised to stay indoors or to light a large bonfire to scare her away. By the 14th century, Baltic paganism had been replaced with Christianity. However, these ancient beliefs stuck around a bit and never quite went away. One attempt to bring back the paganism of old is the Romuva religion. Practitioners of Romuva believe in all the gods and myths that we've seen so far. As was done since ancient times, they make fire offerings to the supreme deity Dievas and maintain the forest groves home to the Dievas. Today, the religion is seeking to establish itself as an officially recognised faith in Lithuania, and they're making significant steps in potentially bringing back ancestral beliefs in the Baltics. Baltic paganism is a fantastic mythology, rich with history and steeped in magic. I can only hope to have given you a rough introduction to this diverse belief system. If you wish to do further reading on this topic, I've added a bunch of links in the description below. We'll leave the mythology of the Baltics for now, but I want to turn the question onto you, the viewer. What obscure mythology do you want to see next? Let me know all the overlooked and underrated mythologies that interest you. Who knows? I might cover it in a future video. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you'd like to see more, why not subscribe? A like and a comment also go a really long way. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.